Hey everyone, it's Melody again. Today I'll be making this photo manipulation, Wise Beyond Her Years, inspired by this beautiful original photograph from Joao Silas. To build this piece, I'm going to be using 4 main components. 2 of them are free stocks from Unsplash, so you could even follow along with this project if you'd like. 3D smart objects of ladybugs captured at different angles, and of course this really cool glitch graphic for more light and realism. Let's start with a thumbnail. Believe it or not, something as simple as this gives me just enough information to know exactly where I would like to place everything that's going to be in this piece. Then I download all the stocks and start setting them up with new layers in Adobe Photoshop, making sure to drop both of the pictures we need in, this main model from Joao, and also this super pretty red flower bush we'll use for the background, which comes from Nicole Honeywell. You can isolate the main model with layer masks, although any extraction method works fine here. And you can separate it on a new layer by making sure that it's a copy so that you won't be messing with the original photo. I like to do this mostly because it helps me flip between the before and after effects, and it ends up just helping me later down the line. And for the new background, you won't really have to do much other than pasting it in and masking away anything else that you don't need from the model's layer. Probably one of my favorite parts of any photo manipulation or digital painting for that matter is the style. If it's gonna have people in it, it's definitely the styling. So now we can take this opportunity to fluff up her hair a bit. I like to use the liquify tool for this step just because you can kind of like slightly pull at her hair using the forward warp tool. And grouping things together also helps everything stay pretty organized, like this lady group for instance, with all my 3D smart objects in it. Then you can go in and just change them all up one by one. So for this process, I pretty much repeat the same thing over and over again. I resize it first, making it a much more appropriate ladybug size. Then, in order to figure out the placement, I like to do this little trick for compositions, which is basically grabbing each bug and dragging it all around the canvas. That way you can repeat it as many times as you like, and even with each different type of ladybug that we've chosen here. Then you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to finely tune the placement of each one until they all have their own special little spot. So yeah, I also put one right on her nose, smack dab in the middle. And I know it's probably going to seem a little unnecessary or like I should have just left her alone, but I kind of felt like the normal portrait is a little intense, and then making her hair even more grandiose gives her a very regal vibe. And I feel like it would be very Mother Nature-like to be playful in this sense, since it's a bit of a intense expression. So now that all of the ladybugs are in place, I'll use adjustment layers and layer blend modes to bring more harmony to this piece. Something like curves in this instance can help with the initial colors before you start to add new layers for the shadows and then the highlights. This is also a good time to establish where the sun is going to be. I wrote a little note to myself on a separate layer. You don't have to do this, but sometimes it helps. My goal here is not really to do an effect that's going to look super Photoshoppy. It's more so of mimicking a natural moment with unnatural objects. I don't know, there's just kind of a fun, playful thing about that, making a whole new mood. And when it comes to tricks for realism in art, one of my favorite things that I found over the years was trying out different glitch graphics. Here you just change the layer blend mode so that it blends perfectly into the portrait, and then you'll start to kind of feel that this is something that could really be happening. I don't really know how to explain this other than this, implying the idea that something is happening from a photographic standpoint. And what I love about Joao's picture is that it's already so beautiful and you really don't have to do much. This was definitely not the case for Freestock a couple of years ago, but we will leave that to another conversation now, okay? A few more adjustment layers will help to bring out the feeling a little more. It's a bit moody, which I always like. Add light to the ladybugs or the hair around the face, or you can even mimic the idea of light coming through the leaves, and it really helps overall with the realism. So yeah, after those final adjustments, there really isn't that much more to do. Here is the final portrait, and yeah, that is this piece. Anyway, I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Please make sure to give it a like and consider subscribing. Next time we will cover this piece, the last one from last year that I'll be covering before entering new art. Anyway, guys, that's all for now. Sending you lots of love, and remember to stay inside and be safe. We can't lose you, okay? But it is time to learn some new things, so climb aboard. Board the art train. Okay, it's time to go. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.